It's happening! Lucas and I are moving! That's right, Lucas and I are moving into our very first home because we bought a house. A house! Like an actual house that we're not renting, but that we will own. Because this is such a huge milestone for Lucas and I thought it would be really special to document it with a couple different videos. So the first thing that I wanted to do is a house tour of our first ever home together. We have a very strange living situation where we live in a storage facility. It's been a great home for us, and it's one of those things that I will miss telling people when we move, because it was always fun to get those weird looks whenever we'd tell people we lived in a storage facility. Without further ado, let's see this home. So here I am outside of our home. This is our apartment here, and you can see all of the storage units back behind me. Whenever you come to our home, you'll enter in through the gate, and then Lucas and I usually park here, and we'll have friends and company park over here. We've got this side door that we don't use. Sorry about the traffic. We've got this side door that we don't use, but there's another one over here, and that's our main entrance. One of the hardest things about living here is that we live right off of a very busy road here, very busy highway, and then there's an interstate back there. So it's pretty much noisy all the time. But when you park and you come to our home, you come around the corner here, and this is where you come in. There's our main door. We've got our doormat and our little decorations and things. This is the area of failed gardening. Being in an apartment means that we just don't have a place to plant things because they hire mowers to come in and to take care of all of the weeds and the grass and things. So this is where I have tried to do gardening. And last year I had mild success, but this year everything I tried to plant died, and these weeds are the only thing that survived. So I'm hoping I'll have more success when I have an actual yard where I can plant things. So after we park, we come inside, and here is our apartment with brunch up there at the top of the stairs. When you walk into the house, the first room that you step into is the kitchen. The first room that you come into is the kitchen, and our kitchen and living space have like this open concept thing, which really does make the apartment feel a whole lot bigger. Of course, this is where I spend all of my time cooking our meals and things, and we don't have a ton of storage space. It looks like we have a lot of cabinetry, but this apartment came like 95% furnished when we moved in. So inside these cabinets is a whole lot of stuff that doesn't belong to us. Like these two shelves are all things that we do not own. We own this little set of things here on this bottom shelf. And a lot of the space here is kind of the same way. I mean, even in this cabinet, we own maybe 3 or 4 things up there, and like one thing here and one thing here. It's not a whole lot, and that's one thing I'm also looking forward to when we move, because all the space that we have will truly get to fill with our own things. Of course, there's our fridge, and we've got all kinds of fun mementos and drawings and cards and things on it. On our table here, this is a planter that I had painted whenever we lived in Florida before we got married. And I had painted this intending to put plants and things in it, but then when we moved in, I realized we didn't have a place to put our napkins. So this has just become the place where we put those. Another thing that I love about this kitchen is this window. It's a small little thing, but in the window, we've got this cookbook, Martha's Kentucky Kitchen. That is from Lucas's great grandmother. It's full of all these recipes that she made and she wrote down and put into a book. And then over here we have this little wood decoration thing, and it's got my great-grandmother's famous cheesecake. So it's just a special little touch that I really love because it's like the uniting of both of our families and the great-grandmothers and just tying a little bit of history into our home now. Maybe the best part of the kitchen is Brunch's station. This is where he eats all of his meals, and this little snuffle mat is something that his mom, Lucas's mom, made for brunch because he eats his food too fast. So it's been a really helpful tool, and it's the only way that he can get his meals down. But it's one of my favorite parts of the whole house, honestly, just because of this little thing here. We've got these two little pictures, one of the three of us at Christmas time, and then another one with his brother, which Lucas's parents own, so he gets to see his brother all the time. So, like I said, we've got an open concept from our kitchen that goes into our living room here. Again, pretty much all of the stuff came with the apartment except for the decorations that we put up. One thing that people always comment on when they come over is the fact that we have two TVs. And some of my friends say that this is a Michael Scott TV because it literally just does, you know, like comes out a little bit and then goes back onto the wall a little bit. But we don't have a remote for this TV, and it's never been plugged in. It's just mounted to the wall. So it's just a fun extra decoration that we have. As you make your way through the back of the living room, you find yourself here at the bathroom. This bathroom is actually nicer than the one that we have upstairs. The shower is a little bit bigger, a little nicer. This vanity is huge compared to the one that we have upstairs. And we've got two mirrors, obviously, came with the place. This actually I did paint before we moved in here. That was what I did before we got married. But that's it. There's one of our two bathrooms. And I count myself very blessed that we actually have two bathrooms in our apartment. Then as we leave the bathroom, back here, this potentially could have been another entry space into the apartment. This was that extra side door, hey, that we just don't use. So there's that, but we kind of use this as a little makeshift coat area. We put all of our coats and hats and things back there. I've got one little piece of decor, but we don't really spend any time here. It's kind of just storage, which, speaking of, is all that this room is. This room is just a storage room full of all kinds of junk, and most of the things that are back there belong to this apartment and don't even belong to us. So that pretty much concludes downstairs, but uniquely, our apartment does actually have an upstairs to it. So as you go upstairs, you'll find that we've got all of these fun pictures from our wedding. Once you come up the stairs, you will find the guest room. It's a little bit of a strange situation because we've got this bunk bed with a full bed on the bottom, and it's plenty big enough for guests, but obviously this is just an open space that is just completely open to downstairs. So it's a little bit odd to have guests over, but we try to do our best to give them privacy. And then over here, this is our other bathroom. You can kind of tell this one's not quite as nice as the one that's downstairs. The shower, I don't think it's quite as big. This sink doesn't have any room to it. You can barely fit your toothbrushes and your soap. That's about it. Can't fit much else. I do have another painting that I've done up here. This one, actually both of them were paint by numbers. And then right next to the bathroom is a closet. That's where we keep all of our like Sunday clothes and our nice clothes. And then also our winter coats because we don't have a place for that. And then Also attached to this room is our laundry room. It's not really much of anything, just a washer and a dryer. Barely enough space to get in there. I'm excited because in this new house, I get a whole actual room for my laundry things. So that's gonna be quite the upgrade. And the last room of the house, when you leave our little guest room area, you make it into Lucas and I's room. Here's where we call it our desk, but really it's Lucas's desk. That's where he does all of his gaming and things. There's our closet there. That's where we keep the majority of our shirts and things. Whereas in this little cubby thing, that's where we keep like our shorts and our pants, keep our shoes down there. But then, as I said before, we keep all of our Sunday stuff and coats in there. And then out here actually is where Lucas keeps his work pants, and it's also where we keep like our spare bed sheets and things. I guess just a running theme of an apartment is you don't have a ton of space. You don't have a ton of storage space, so we just put things where we can. We keep Brunch's cage in here. Right now, Lucas's work shirts are sitting on top of his cage, but in the winter, it gets insanely cold. And we started feeling bad that he was downstairs by himself in his cage, so we started keeping him up here with us. So Brunch lives up here with us in our room. And we have yet another little Michael Scott TV. This one's even more so than the one downstairs. Barely comes off the wall, never been plugged in, don't have a remote. So it's just a fun decoration for this room. And then last but not least, perhaps one of the most fun aspects to this apartment is that we have an outdoor raised deck. It's not super serene. You get a great view of the road. And if you watch carefully, you can see cars go through the trees there. But I love it. I spend a lot of time out here, especially in the summertime. I'll sit out here either at these chairs and I'll put my feet up here on the railing and I'll watch the sunset, or sometimes I'll just sit on the roof over here because I get so much more space and a little bit of a better view. We do have this strange blue tarp here, and it's because, as you can see, that's where people will come into the storage facility. That's the entrance right there. So we put this up here just so I can have a little bit more privacy, because I do like to spend a lot of time out here, and when I'm big chillin', people out there are big watching. So it's just a way to have a little bit of privacy in a place where we don't have much of that. And then, of course, you can go from here, our room, from this deck downstairs, back to where we've parked our cars and to our front door. Well, that about does it for the apartment tour and Lucas and I's first home together. We have been really, really blessed to live in this place. And I've been thankful for all the time that we have had in here, but we are so looking forward to having more space of our own, having a more permanent place where we can really do what we want with it. But I've been so thankful for the space that we've had and all of the events and things and people that we've got to host here. We have been really, really, really blessed. And I praise God for it every day. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and future me, future friends, future family, I hope that you all enjoyed reminiscing on this home and the first place that Lucas and I got to live together and where we got to start our marriage, our lives together. It's been really great to us, but we are so excited for the memories that we'll get to make in our new home. So until the next video, I'll see ya. Do you have anything to say, Brunch? Nothing?